They gon' love me for my ambition.
Welcome to a brand new episode of the Club Ambition podcast. We hope you enjoy it. Also, if you want to check out a bonus episode available right now where we're talking about Rhode Island and everything happening in pop culture, go to patreon.com/Club Ambition. Support us as a company, as a network. And also, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Now, back to the interview.
Woo! Shout out to everybody out in the world. This is Sound. Welcome to Club Ambition Podcast, aka Cap. I'm your weekly host. Shout out to everybody listening from Rhode Island to the world, PVD to the world. You guys already know what it is. We have the engineer in the house, Marloon, holding it down, and a familiar face you might have not seen. It's been damn near almost a year on the podcast.
We
Edwin,
drag him onto this shit.
How's
everybody
brother
doing? I hope everyone's doing well. God bless. I'm already getting nervous.
Yeah, calm down. You gotta relax. You gotta relax. You know what I'm saying? Edwin's holding it down, helping us, making sure the roadcaster's running and the video on the OBS is running as well. But nonetheless, let's get to it. You guys already know by the title. If you're here for the same reason that I'm here, to hear and talk to this gentleman sitting to the right of me. When it comes to the history of Rhode Island and when it comes to the significance of the culture and everything revolving, pop culture of Rhode Island, whether it's sports, whether it's music, everything encompassing, we try to cover it to the best of our ability on this podcast. And I always align it with my own interest. Certain things that I'll be like, damn, that is dope. Like, why is no one talking about that? What? This is that, and this is connected to Rhode Island. And this man sitting to the right of me is one of those amazing stories that I'm dying to, talk to him about, have him here. He blessed us with his time. He's in town, so we said, hey, let's chop it up. Let's do it. We're trying to, make use of the time now. And I'm super, super excited. NBA player, Laker, Rhode Island connections. Cole Swider is in the building. Welcome, brother. Press the button. There we go.
Hey, man, I appreciate you having me on, man. Yeah.
Listen, man.
You. Yes, sir.
Excited, bro. Listen, this is long awaited, long anticipated. I remember, checking out. I think throughout all the interviews that I've done, I check out like the social media feed and certain like interactions and certain connections, especially when I do like, let's say like an actual athlete, and I see maybe another athlete show some love under that athlete's post, and then I'll check their history. I'm like, why is this? Oh, and then you were someone that I saw and I checked out, and then. Me being naive, I didn't, know the history that you had, such an important history. And let's start literally from the beginning. Cole Swider, you're now an NBA Laker, professional athlete, player in the league. But let's start real quick. For those who don't know, the beginnings of Cole Swider. Where were you born and raised? What's the story?
Yeah, man, I was born around the corner in Providence, Rhode Island. Raised in Portsmouth, Rhode Island. And yeah, from the beginning, my dad's 6'8", my mom's 6'3". My dad played at Fordham University. My mom played at University of New Hampshire. So from the day I was born, my dad put a ball in my hand, right? So my parents started the youth basketball league in town when I was in second grade.
Wow.
So during that time, I was able to get in the gym. I was able to kind of like play with all my friends, and I just developed a love for the game. And that love just stuck to me to this day.
Wow. That's awesome. So your mother played as well, basketball?
Yeah, my mom played basketball at University of New Hampshire.
Oh, no, this guy got it. This is why. This is why he looks like a giant sitting next to me. Like this is like a natural. Not only just them being tall, but then they had connections to basketball. Wow. Yep. And why did they have connections with their own parents to basketball? Like what was that?
Yeah, so my grandmother played at University of Rhode Island. She played back in like the '60s. Yep. And then, but my dad, no, my dad's dad was 6'6", wasn't really an athlete. His mom was a little 5'7" lady from Central Falls. So. So 5'7" French lady from Central Falls, and yeah, no, he didn't really have like the structure of him growing up with a lot of basketball around him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was just big. He was tall. They were like, hey, you should play basketball. So
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, he loved it, and he ended up playing at Fordham University and had a great time.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, and then now even going back now to them, what's their nationality? What's like their upbringing? Like, what was like the household like? What type of food were you guys eating? Like, what was it?
Yeah, no. So I'm white, man. I mean, people ask me that all the time. I'm Italian, English, Native American. I'm everything. I call myself a mutt. You feel me?
Oh, damn. Did you just offend yourself? No, that word, I'm familiar with that word. When I found out about it, I'm like, what? But it sounds crazy, though, for, like, the naive people. But that is interesting that you say that, because I was going to ask you that as well. Like, do people, because you look like you are, like, half black, potentially, or, like, mixed or something, like, easily, right?
Yeah.
And then for comparison, maybe what, like a Ben Simmons, maybe? I don't know. I'm trying to, like, not to be too niche to, like, obviously a basketball player, but, like, you definitely have that look, man. But wow, we know he's white. Like you said, 100% white.
Yeah. So people. It's funny. The Puerto Rican national team actually hit me up and asked me if I had any Puerto Rican descent with me. Yeah. So.
Yeah, you look Puerto Rican. You look Boricua. You look a little Boricua.
Yeah.
We have a fellow Boricua in the building. Edwin, does he look a little Boricua?
Yeah, se ve boricua.
Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Man, so now going now to your school history. All right, what was your actual elementary, middle school, and high school journey?
Yeah, so I grew up, just went to public school my whole entire life up until my freshman year of high school. I went to Portsmouth High School for my freshman year, and then after that I went to St. Andrews. So St. Andrews is known for being like a powerhouse basketball program. I won the state championship my 8th grade year at Portsmouth Middle School. We actually played against Justin Mazzulla. Joe Mazzulla is the head coach of the Boston Celtics now.
Shout out to Joe Mazzulla, Johnston Joe, Rhode Island's own,
Yep. So I played against his younger brother. I played with his younger brother in AAU and everything. So won the 8th grade state championship, went to Portsmouth High School my freshman year, played really well.
Yep.
Averaged like 20 points a game as a freshman, and then ended up going to St. Andrews. And St. Andrews was a great decision for me. I played for a legendary high school coach, Coach Mike Hart. They've had 4 NBA players besides myself: Mike Carter-Williams, Bonzi Colson, Beatrice Nichols, Ricky Lito.
Nice. Shout out to Ricky Lito. Yep. Rhode Island as well.
Yep. So great high school program with a great tradition.
Wow. And then now, from what I'm familiar with, doing my research, you had a very, successful, high school journey that led to a lot of offers, right? So talk about that a bit, going back in time a couple years to that moment of, receiving so many offers at such a young age.
Yeah, no, it was crazy because my freshman year of high school, I was playing on BABC, which is a Nike YBL basketball team out of Boston. They've had players from Patrick Ewing and Nerlens Noel. It's a legendary program. It's ran by Leo Papil, who's been running since 1977. So my freshman year of high school, I wasn't playing at all. I was just sitting on the bench, watching a bunch of guys, but I just kept on working, kept on getting better. Reclassed my freshman year at St. Andrews, played for BABC, but played for the 9th grade team again. And yeah, man, it just got better and better and better. Kind of broke out that spring.
Yeah.
I got my first offer the fall of my sophomore year by Boston College.
Wow.
And after that, it was like I found my footing with St. Andrews. I was starting now. I was the best player on the team as a sophomore, and the offers just followed. I probably had 35 to 40 offers, ranging from University of New Hampshire, where my mom went, all the way up into Duke and all the high major schools. So
My God.
Duke and Syracuse and Villanova to Florida to Indiana
My God.
Yeah. It was cool because David, you guys have obviously had David on the show.
Shout out to David Duke Jr., David Duke Jr.
Providence guy. Like, we were 2 guys in the same class from Rhode Island. Like, we used to go to Camp Errol, like, growing up together.
Camp Errol.
And it was cool. Like, he was getting offered by Kansas and Providence, and I got offered by Providence and all these different schools. And it's like, yo, like.
Same time? It was at the same time?
Yeah, we're both class 2018.
I didn't realize it was the same time.
So we, like, 2 Rhode Island guys, and then we both make it to the league. It's like, that's crazy, bro.
Listen,
That's fire.
It's the power of Rhode Island. You know, smallest state in the country, but biggest hearts. I say it all the time.
We got some talent coming up, though. Isaiah Miranda from Pawtucket.
Shout out to Isaiah. Yep, I just saw that.
He's about to he'll probably make the league in the next couple of years. We got a lot of talent coming. We probably have like Tyler Kolek won Big East Player of the Year this year at Marquette. We got a lot of talent in Rhode Island. I mean, it wasn't the case back in the day. Like, I mean, with the New England Prep School League, I mean, you get like that national exposure now. Where before, I mean, like the best players in Rhode Island were going to like Vermont or University of Rhode Island. Like now, like we're all over the place, bro.
Yeah. No, that's awesome to hear, and you're so tapped into it. You know, where you were, dedicated, and talk back to that moment. Like you got all these offers and everything, and now obviously you're extremely, successful. You made it to the league. The ultimate dream. But going back to that moment, like what was that journey of the grind? Like, do you remember those days of like, were you one of those people that were every day in the gym? Like, how dedicated were you? And go back to that moment of, grinding young, then going into the college, time, and then like the difference between like high school basketball and now college basketball.
Yeah, so for me in high school, like that was my focus, right? It's just basketball. You know what I mean? I remember just like not taking no for an answer. Like I was blessed to go to a really successful high school program, play for Coach Hart, who would coach a lot of great players. So he kind of gave me the blueprint. It was like, yo, if you want to make it, like this is what it takes.
Yeah.
Waking up early, get on. So I rode the Ripta bus to school my first 2 years.
Wow.
From I get at the end of my street, ride the Ripta to St. Andrews.
Uncle Ripta.
Yeah.
The reliable Uncle Ripta.
And then ride it back. So I would catch the 6:15 bus, get to St. Andrews around 6:45, 7.
Yeah.
Get in the gym, like either do some running, do some shots, whatever. Shower up, eat breakfast, go to school. After school, we would have weights, then practice, and then I would stay after and shoot more. Like that was just every day for me. Like I loved it. Like eat, sleep, breathe basketball, and like that's from the time I remember. I tell the story all the time. I was in 3rd grade. My basketball season ended, and I was in like crying, full tears, like crying.
Yeah.
So I was like, Dad, like, is there any other leagues I can play in? Like, I don't want to play baseball. Like, I want to just play basketball. And so he introduced the idea of playing AU basketball to my mom. And through that process, I met so many of these Rhode Island guys, like Thomas Murphy. His brother Eric Murphy played in the NBA. His other brother Alex played at Duke. He ended up playing at Northeastern. But like, I grew up playing with him. I grew up around so many guys who made it. Like a kid from Portsmouth, Rhode Island. His name is Andrew Travis. He was like the first guy from my town to like really make it. He played at Butler University. In the Big East. So. But yeah, going back to that time, and I was just hungry. Like I've always had a chip on my shoulder. Like I was like that kid who in Little League baseball who was crying on the mound. You know what I mean? Because I was just so competitive, and like when that was like something that like held me back then, it's what separated me then and now.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And then now, fast forwarding a bit to the decision of the ultimate. What was the main ultimate college? Because I know you have two ties to two college stories. You know. Villanova and Syracuse.
Yep.
So talk about which one was first and that experience.
Yeah, so I narrowed down my final 4 schools after this. After like the spring of my junior year, I was down to Villanova, Syracuse, Xavier, and Duke. Those were my top 4 schools. And I grew up a Duke fan. Like, I always wanted to go to Duke. So I did officials at all 4 schools. Loved all 4 schools, but like there was something about Villanova that like just like drew me there. Like when you're in high school, you're not thinking about like the basketball fit. You're not thinking because you're like, oh, I'm gonna figure it out. Like I've always figured it out my whole entire life. And my mom loved Villanova. She loved Coach Wright. Coach Wright's a Hall of Fame coach. They just won the national championship.
Yep.
So the draw, and it was close. It was close to home. It was 5 hours away from home. It was Philly, so like, I could shoot home if I wanted to. It was far enough away from home where my parents like couldn't be all over me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I ended up committing to Villanova my junior year of high school, and yeah, I mean at the time it felt like the right decision. You know what I mean? I went there. 4 guys were leaving to go to the NBA draft. We had recruited some new guys in. We had a good team coming back. We won the Big East my freshman year, but yeah, that ultimate decision was just like I loved the school. The program was great. The culture was great. It just wasn't the right basketball fit for me.
So and now transitioning to, you know, because that's really rare where you see, you know, an NBA player that made it but then has like multiple, you know, college, you know, ties, because you have a Villanova story. Which shout out to Yuli, actually, our braider. Yuli said that she would watch your Villanova game. She was like, "Oh wow, you're interviewing him today." So shout out to her. You know, so people were literally, you know, you had fans, you have Villanova, and to this day, you know, you have Villanova ties.
Yeah.
But then now the Syracuse situation.
Yeah.
Explain that and break that down for people who, especially for people that don't know about sports that much, and that decision right there as well.
Yeah, so I was a top 40 player coming out of high school. So me and David were both top 50 players, ESPN, whatever rankings you want to get. We were both top 40 players. And when you're a top 40 player, you're expected to go into a place and be the man, start, all these things. And that was my expectation going there.
Yeah.
The Villanova culture is something that is it's hard to explain until you get there. You know what I mean? Like at Villanova, like for example, a day in the summer, you're waking up at 5:30 in the morning, lift at 6, lift from like 6 to 7:30. Right after that, you're shooting from like 7:30 to 8:15. You eat breakfast, and in the summer, the classes are longer, so you'll have class from like 9 to like 1:30 in the summer. So class from 9 to 1:30. You get off of that, and you have practice for 2.5 hours in the summer.
Wow.
4 or 5 days a week.
Very rigorous. Doesn't sound very fun.
Yeah. Villanova, they're testing your hydration before every single practice.
My
They're
God.
testing your body fat. The night before a game, they're taking your phones. Like, they're coming up and testing you on the scouting report. testing your hydration every single day. So it's like it's like militant. You know what I mean? It's like Miami Heat.
Yeah.
Miami Heat. Like the culture is like everything is geared towards winning.
Wow.
And I didn't have a problem with that because I'm militant myself. I love that shit. Like I want to do whatever it takes to win. I've always been a hard worker, but the on-court fit was like, for me, I'm a 6'9" white guy. You know what I mean? I'm not the most athletic guy in the world, but I can really shoot the basketball. That's my skill.
Yeah.
So
And what's your position again? Not to cut you off.
I'm like a small forward, power forward.
Small forward, power forward. For those who don't know, small forward, power forward, a forward. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went in there thinking like I'm gonna be able to figure it out. Coach Wright loves me, whatever. I went there and it was tough, bro. Like we signed a kid in June of that year. Ended up being one of my best friends named Sadiq Bey. He ended up being a 2-and-done, so he was an NBA player and he played in front of me. So I felt like I was always just like chasing like someone to beat him out, and I never really got to like step into a spot of like where I felt comfortable. And the fit wasn't great. I was trying to make it work. And after my junior year, I was like, yo, like for me to be able to reach my dreams, like, I'm averaging 6 points a game at Villanova. I was a top 40 player. My dream's always been in the NBA. Like I think for me, the best move, and I'm really into my faith. I'm really spiritual. Like I was like the best move for me is probably to transfer. So I prayed about it. I talked to my dad about my high school coach, and after my third year, I decided to transfer. So during that time, 3 years removed from high school, I was a top 40 player. So I averaged 6 points a game as a junior. But it's not looking too good to make it to the league. You know what I mean? People back home weren't saying the most positive things about me because when you average 20 points a game in the best high school league in the country, you average 30 points a game in your high school team, like, you know what I mean? You're 6'9", like you fit the NBA. Like I fit the NBA.
You check off all the boxes.
Exactly.
You check off all the boxes.
But I didn't have any stats. I didn't have nothing. So I went into the transfer portal. I was down to Syracuse, Indiana, and Rutgers and Arizona. Those were like my top 4 schools in the portal. And man, I just prayed about it. And I visited Syracuse in high school, and I loved it. Like,
yeah,
it was probably like it was the best fit for me coming out of high school. It just was like I just felt like Villanova was the right place at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was comfortable with the coaches. I was comfortable with the school, the university. They had an unbelievable practice facility. They play in a Carrier Dome, which holds 35,000 people, and you'll get 35,000 people at a game, bro.
Yeah,
like Syracuse basketball is everything up there. So I committed like 3 days after I entered in the portal, and yeah, man, it's the best decision I've ever made.
So talk about that. So 3 years of Villanova, now starting at going to Syracuse. What was that experience at Syracuse, and how that lasts, and then that story at Syracuse real quick.
So when I was at Villanova, I felt like I had like this like kind of like this basketball anxiety. You know what I mean? Like every single time I went on the court, I was like, yo, I got to be perfect because that's my opportunity to play.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if you guys have played sports before or even like just podcasting, right? If you're so pent up on everything to be perfect, you're not going to perform to the level or the standard that you have set for yourself.
Yeah.
I've always like loved the guys who are able to like look like they don't care and just play so loose, and then they end up killing everybody because like there's not a care in the world.
Natural born killers.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I have a sense of that, but at Villanova I was so wound tight. When I went to Syracuse, I found myself, bro.
Really?
I went back to myself who I was in high school, like just playing free and careless. And I mean, I struggled early on at Syracuse. Like I tell people all the time, I started out 3 for 25 from three. And
wow.
I'm a 3-point shooter. Like, a good 3-point shooter shoots around like 40% from three. That's 12%. Like I had to work my shit back up.
Yeah.
So I went to Syracuse, was like really able to find myself. I was able to like have a voice, and people respected me around the team and everything like that. And it was amazing, bro. Like you go from being at Villanova, you're the sixth man. It's like, yo, can I lead? I'm not really one of the best players. Like, can I tell guys to do certain things when I may not do them all the time? At Syracuse, it was like, yo, like this is you, bro. So the year, like, we didn't have a great year as a team. We were a little over 500. Didn't make the tournament, but like I averaged 15 a game, averaged 8 rebounds, shot 40% from three.
Sheesh.
Was able to really find myself, bro.
Yeah.
And just so thankful to Coach Boeheim and the whole entire staff at Syracuse for like giving me that opportunity to play on that big stage, to play at North Carolina, play at Duke, and play against all these great teams, and really showcase my abilities. It was a blessing and it was from God, bro.
And you lasted 1 year there?
Yeah, I only had to go 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year, right? Because you were there and going into your fourth year, right? Well, that's amazing. And you had proof of concept where you had, the stats to back it up. Oh, he made that decision. Why he make that decision? And then you see the numbers be higher. It's like, oh, God's time, and look, he made the right decision. So that's amazing to see. And at the same time, you have a unique story where you have ties to two colleges. It's pretty crazy. And then now, fast forwarding to the actual draft and everything leading up to that moment, what was your expectations and then breaking down your reaction to what actually happened?
Yeah, so like coming out of Syracuse, I definitely had some stock, but I wasn't like a guaranteed draft pick, guaranteed anything, right? So I basically just like left it up to the man above and be like, hey, I could go back. So now like guys have 5 years of college because of the COVID year. The COVID year didn't count, so I could have went back to Syracuse my 5th yeyear. But talking to my coach, it was like, hey, we're gonna have a young team next year. Like you could come back, but it won't really help you for the NBA. Like you did what you had to do in terms of stats and showed your ability. So I my AAU coach from high school helped me find an agent. I was able to sign with one of the best agents that there is in all sports, Bill Duffy agency, and through that he was able to help me out, like really like put my name out there. So I went out to Santa Barbara. Before that, I went out to Portsmouth Invitational, which is like a senior showcase, and there's like 150 NBA scouts there.
Wow.
From everywhere.
Wow.
I played well in that and was able to kind of get my name out there. Then after that, I didn't get invited to the NBA Combine or the G League Combine or anything like that. So I just went into these draft workouts hungry, bro.
Yeah.
I worked out for 12 teams. Got called back to 3. Got called back to Atlanta Hawks, Milwaukee Bucks, the Lakers. And I knew Portland and Sacramento were interested in me too. So when it came to draft night, I knew it was probably going to be one of those 5 teams.
Yeah.
And, yeah, man, had the whole family over, had all my friends and people over to my house. And I was just hoping to get a call. Like, not knowing if I was going to get drafted, not knowing if I was going to get a deal, but, like, just hoping and praying. And that call came, man. I didn't get drafted, but I got the two-way call on draft night. I signed a 2-year two-way with the Lakers. And that like, you can't explain that feeling, bro. Like I felt like I got drafted number 1. You know what I mean? Like, it, to have everyone that, like, kind of helped you in your journey there, to kind of celebrate you in that moment, it was just an unbelievable feeling. I had all my former AAU coaches there. I had my high school coach there. I had people from I had my college managers there with me, like. And we got a pool in the backyard, so we're all jumping in the pool.
Woo!
Next thing you know, the Casamigos comes out.
Oh yeah.
It was an unbelievable night, man. I was still one of the best nights of my life.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing because, again, going back to leaving it to the man above, God and proof of concept. You made the changes that you made, and who knows, if you would have had made the change going to Syracuse, you probably would have not ended up in that position where you get the 2-way contract to go to the Lakers.
Yeah.
So like everything aligned, right? And even that, whereas like a 2-way contract, so for those who don't know, you weren't necessarily like a number on the draft list or on the rounds.
Yeah.
It was just like after.
Yeah, so basically, like, there was only 58 picks in the draft last year. Usually it's 60, but there was only 58 last year. 2 teams got their picks taken away from them for, like, violating rules. So there's 58 picks, and then the first-round contracts are guaranteed, but the second-round contracts aren't. So they can guarantee your contract in the second round, but most guys don't really get their contracts guaranteed. And some guys in the second round get 2 ways.
Yeah.
So I knew at pick 56 that I was going to sign with the Lakers. So there's probably about the 58 draft picks, and then there's probably 30 picks after. There's 30 people after that who signed 2-way contracts. So you're in the top 88 rookies, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I was one of those guys, blessed and fortunate. I went back to the Lakers and worked out twice. Had 2 really good workouts there. And yeah, man, it was amazing. Like, I grew up the biggest LeBron James fan. Like, he was like they were asking me earlier, like, who do you look up to? Who was your basketball idols, right? And like, bro, I remember watching the finals in 2018, and like and like seeing LeBron like having to do everything by himself, like going through that playoff run. And I remember like leaving my dorm room, going outside to run. It's like, yo, I'm gonna play with LeBron one day. I'm gonna help him out.
Woo.
And then like for that to happen, bro, like that has to be God. You know what I mean? Like,
give me goosebumps, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, we were literally like, it was me, my boy Tony G, my boy Jack, and like another one of my boys. We watched the whole entire 2018 run, and like they remember me saying that, like, yo, like I gotta get in the gym, bro. I gotta help Bron out.
Manifestation.
It's wild, bro.
Manifestation.
It's crazy how stuff works out.
Manifestation, man. And then now, fast forward into that, being a Laker. So you have history obviously on the team, but then also the G League. So, but what was the actual first situation with the Lakers? It was a two-way contract. So even break that down. So how long is that contract?
Yeah.
You know, is there a certain like amount of money tied to that?
Yeah.
You know, and what was that as well? If you don't mind sharing as well.
Yeah, for sure. So, first of all, the two-way contract is a contract that NBA implemented a couple years ago. With all these guys who were taking games off and the NBA like trying to prevent load management or help with load management, they gave the two-way contracts to guys who might have been right outside that draft bubble a little bit, and gives the teams two extra guys that they can call up. It's basically being like a JV varsity swing player.
Yeah. Swing players. Yep.
So the NBA implemented that a couple years ago, and it's half the rookie minimum. So the rookie minimum this year was $1 million. It's split that in half. That's the two-way contract. So it's a great opportunity for guys to not only develop in the G League, but to be able to help the NBA team when you're needed, right? Like throughout the season, like when you play 82 games in a short season in less than 5 months, like there's going to be injuries. There's going to be all these different things. Like I started out in summer league. I played really, really well. They're thinking about converting me to a contract. I went through preseason. And then I got hurt. I had a stress reaction in my foot. And during that time, it was like the reason why I signed with the Lakers because they had a lack of shooting at the time.
Yeah, they wanted more shooters. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm that. I'm that guy. I'm a shooter. So like I was playing well, being good with all the guys. I got hurt. Just bad timing.
Yeah.
The first part of the season, like I probably would have had an opportunity to play a little bit, but I mean it's all God's time. I mean I came back 10 weeks later. Was able to really find my footing in the G League the second half of the year. Had 37-point games, 30-point games, and was really able to kind of find my footing. I feel like I improved a lot in the G League this year.
Yeah.
But I signed a 2-year contract with the Lakers, both being on two ways. The two ways are non-guaranteed contracts, so you can get waived at any time, and the money not be, and your payments get cut then.
Yeah.
So it's definitely humbling. But it's a great opportunity for young guys like me or guys who are trying to make it in the league to kind of sign that contract and when you're not playing with the top team, you just go with the G League team and play for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Or be with the top team and try and get that actual NBA contract, try and be a part of those 15 players in the
like
NBA.
proving yourself type shit. Like it's like it puts a battery in people's back. This is very interesting. I knew a lot of that stuff, but I know a lot of people it's like a newer thing, the two-way contract. So I wanted to hear from the bird's eye view, someone that's actually receiving it, like breaking it down. So that's amazing to hear. And then now, what was your first experience? You know, you signed to the Lakers. What was your first experience with anyone like on the Lakers that's like a major, entity? If you want a free $100 to bet, that's right, bet on sports right now, whether there's NBA playoffs or MLB, whatever you want to bet it on, a free $100, Underdog Fantasy, use the code AMBITION. This video is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Make sure, that's our new partner, if you guys want to get some free money, bet on some games on a fun way, in a fantasy sports way, Underdog Fantasy. The code is AMBITION. You're going to get a free $100. Also, there's a link that you can just click, the sign-up link with our name, our code already in it, but the code is Ambition, a free $100, not a scam. This is an amazing opportunity. I know a lot of people like myself love sports, and I know a lot of my friends already use this code a lot, multiple times. You could create as many accounts as possible. Shh, don't say I said that. Free $100, match your bet, Ambition, Underdog Fantasy. Go check it out right now. Whether it's, Rob Pelinka, etc.
Yeah.
What was your first interaction with any of the Lakers, or was it like LeBron right away? Like what? Because I feel like in people's mind, like who don't know, like I'm on the Lakers. Like, does LeBron like FaceTime you? Welcome to the team. Like, what's that first interaction with anyone of such a huge, large franchise, arguably the biggest franchise in the history of basketball? Maybe sports. Like when it comes to Lakers, it's like
Lakers, Yankees,
Celtics. Like come on, So what was that first interaction with anyone like of a huge status on the Lakers?
Yeah, so it starts with my pre-draft workouts. Like you walk into that place and it's like they have the trophies right there. They have all the names up on the wall from James Worthy, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe, like all these. Like you walk in there, you're like, wow, like I don't take that for granted. Like I walk in there every single day. I'm like, wow, it's unbelievable to be able to play for a franchise that has 17 championships, that has all this different types of history, from George Mikan when they were the Minneapolis Lakers to It's just amazing. But walking in there, I appreciate history. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those guys who just like I appreciate that stuff. You know what I mean? I'm a basketball historian. You know what I mean? I love everything about that.
I could tell, especially when you were shouting out all the Rhode Island people. I found it very, very dope, and it shows that you're very humble. So, no, that's amazing. So you were there, it's breathtaking.
I was there, yeah, and then any pre-draft guy will say this, but I was kind of just like a number on the list. I went in there, I killed it, and after Kurt Rambis, who was a player during the Magic Johnson era, he's an executive with the team now. He's technically like a special advisor, but he brought me aside. He was basically interviewing me. I didn't know it was an interview at the time, but he was basically interviewing
regular
me.
Conversation.
Yeah. But like, you know what I mean? So that was really my first like interaction, and then the second time I went back and worked out for the Lakers, like I would tell a bunch of Rhode Island guys to do this if like when I talk to them, but when you go to a pre-draft workout, you want to like try and go the night before and shoot like in the gym, because they'll give you access, and it's like, hey, like I'm just working on my game. I'm a hard worker. I want to prepare.
Yeah.
So I did that with the Lakers. I went into the gym the night before.
Yeah.
Was getting shots up, and Pelinka comes down. So now it's just me and Pelinka talking on the court. It's like there's no better place to talk to Pelinka.
My God.
It's me and him. We're just talking, and I remember we were just talking about. I was like, man. He was like, would you consider like a two-way contract? Like, is that something that you would want? I was like, of course, man. Like, I just want an opportunity in the NBA. Like, because at that time, like, there were some other teams talking about maybe drafting me, maybe, you know what I mean? Like, all these other things. And we were just talking, and then he gave me a quote, man. I asked him, like, who else, anybody else in this workout? Because that's like a thing, like you want to prepare yourself, like, hey, like this guy's in the workout, he likes to drive right, you know what I mean? Like this guy's a left-handed player. So I was trying to get some inside info so I could play well the next day. He was like, they have this thing called Genius Talks to the Lakers, and they had Elon Musk come in and talk to the team, and one of the players, I think it was Kyle Kuzma or something, he was like, how do you handle with, like, your competitors? Like, how do you handle with the pressure of your competitors?
Yeah.
And Elon Musk said, when you are the standard, you don't care about the competitors. So, like, Rob gave that to me. He's like, hey, like, this workout, like, when you're the standard, don't worry about the competitors.
Yeah.
So that was like, wow, all right.
Yeah.
Had a good workout that next day. And then after I was talking to him, and Rob's really into his faith as well. So we got talking about that. And man, yeah, like he's been great to me the whole entire time, even when I got hurt, and everything like that. So he's been great.
Wow. And then fast forward to your first game, aside from G League actually being, not even just on the bench or actually playing.
Yeah.
Talk about that first day. I'm pretty sure you remember it and that experience.
Yeah. So the first half of the year, I'd gotten into like 3 games, but it was the end of the games. So the first game I actually played, we were in Denver, and the thing about the NBA that's funny is that your minutes are, you have like David would tell you this too, right? So like before the game, your minutes are basically written down. Like they have like the schedule of minutes. In college, like the coach, it's a feel thing with the coach. The coach be like, hey, you're in now, like based on a mistake. The NBA, it's like, you're either going at 7 minutes or 3 minutes, or at the end of or at the start of the second quarter, and if you don't go in at those times, you're probably not going to play in the game.
So scheduled.
It's like scheduled what time you're playing out. So also the guys who don't play, they'll play like a stay ready run. That's what we call it, stay ready runs.
Yeah.
So I was playing in those that whole entire week. We had a couple of injuries, and then LeBron decided right before the game, he's like, I'm not playing today, because like guys like that, like we'll play back to backs in 2 different cities, 2 different nights. And it's like, yo, like taking care of my body, like I'm not going to play today.
Yeah.
So that's like what the 2-way contract was made for. Like LeBron decides not to play. We'll have enough guys to fill the team. Yeah. So I remember I was doing the stay ready run earlier that day, like shooting the ball well. Coach Ham was there watching, our head coach Darvin Ham. And then later that day, it's like, yo, like I'm kind of tired. I just played the stay ready run. Coach Ham, I walk in the locker room right before the game. He's like, hey, be ready to play today. I'm like, oh shoot, you know what I mean? So that can mean anything. So I knew I was in the rotation. I just didn't know how many minutes I was going to play.
Yeah.
So fast forward to the game. 3 minutes comes. Cole, let's go. Be ready. Got in the game, and first of all, the elevation in Denver is different. Like,
altitude.
Yeah, the altitude.
Yeah. Same thing.
Elevation,
Yeah.
altitude. And So like first couple times up and down the court, I'm gassed, bro. I'm gassed. And being a rookie white guy, you know what I mean? They're gonna come at you every single play. So you got to be ready from the second you get in the game to guard. So I get a couple stops feeling good, and then I make my first three in the corner, feeling good, and then he just keeps on playing me. I mean, the team's playing well when I'm out there. I end up playing 25 minutes. We end up losing the game, but it was like, yo, like it was crazy. Like I'm thinking, like, yo, I'm actually going to battle with Russell Westbrook right now. Like we're going like the team that's probably going to win the NBA championship.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to battle Russell Westbrook. Like shit was crazy, man. But yeah, that was the.
So
first.
were you like in a zone, like during the whole moment? You were like, just like, I gotta do this, and like you thought about it after, or in the moment while it was happening, were you like, what the fuck? Okay, it's like obviously I gotta do this, but
Yeah.
you're gonna have first moment. Like I feel like some people is like, oh, they want to be too cool, whatever. Let's be honest, like you said, it's Russell Westbrook. These are people that you saw, watched on TV. Now you're here. Obviously, in the future, God knows you're young. You could be mentioned with the likes of them. You know, God willing. I'm pretty sure. You know, I want that to happen for you. You know, God willing. So that in that first moment, you know, were you? What was the emotions? Like, put us in that moment. Were you like, what the fuck, or were you like, all right, let me just do my job, and then afterwards you're like, damn, I really just did that.
Yeah. So I think in the moment, like I played in big arenas in college, right? Like
Yeah, you did as well. It's true.
Yeah, like I played in big games. So like I think in the moment you just want to like play well, do the best you can, play hard, like not think about everything. But like after the game, it was like, yo, like, all right, like I want this every time now. Like I got a little taste of it. Like I want it. You feel me? Like I don't want to go back to the bench. But I mean, things happen. Like I ended up back on the bench, but like that kind of gave me like a taste of like, yo, like preparing for an NBA game, staying ready when your number's called.
Yeah.
All those other things, like it takes a lot to be successful, but at the same time, like I know it's right there. You know what I mean? Like I'm this close, so I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the future. Like when you're in the moment, like it's hard to like really sit back and be like, yo, like I made it, right? But I think like knowing where I came from, like I'm excited for the future. I'm blessed and humbled to be there, right? But I'm not satisfied just being there too.
Yeah. No, 100%. And we can actually, let's play one of those clips. It might be that exact game that you're talking about that I saw that went viral when you were playing and LeBron was on the bench and he was watching you.
This is my first summer league game right here. I was just in the zone from the beginning. So these are like literally the first two plays of the game. So after I hit that corner shot, that was literally the first play of the game. It was just a crazy, just like it was a broken play.
Yeah.
I kind of just shot it. Like at that time, like as a shooter, like when you have the confidence of like, yo, like I don't care if I miss, like because for me is if I take a high volume of shots, I'm gonna shoot over 40%. Like that's who I am as a shooter.
Yeah, you're a shooter, natural born shooter.
And yeah, like this was like that was like the first play of the game. They showed him right after I made the shot. And it's like that's my idol, bro.
And boom.
This was in San Francisco.
Oh, this was one of those games that you were talking about earlier, right? When was it 3 games that you played?
Yeah.
So this is one of the third ones. Okay. Boom. That's amazing to see. Listen, man. What was the quote there? I didn't even know there was an actual quote.
Yeah, they were just playing around.
Yeah, okay, I'm about to say. I'm like, what the? And now, fast forwarding to, we talked about, Darvin Ham right there. We saw Rob Pelinka, but the gentleman to the right?
Yep.
In my opinion,
greatest player of all time.
Greatest player of all time. We can even talk about that as well. I like that. Cole said it before me. God bless. And is he biased? Hey, he might have to be, but he said it. He wasn't. He already felt that way before he was even playing with the guy.
Yeah.
But LeBron James, what was the first interaction ever with LeBron James? You're on the Lakers. You're from Rhode Island, but this is like a kid's dream come true. Your first interaction with LeBron James ever. What was it?
So it was actually in summer league after we played that game against Phoenix, and we go to the gym the next day to practice. And when you're in summer league, if you have the opportunity to go, you should go, bro. Especially if me and David are playing. But
definitely, I'm down.
Like when you're out there, the whole entire NBA is out there, bro. So like
really,
everyone's out there. So LeBron will come for like 3 or 4 days, and then he'll work out wherever the Lakers gym is. So we go to the gym. Coach Ham is there. He's helping coach the practice a little bit, and Bron's there working out. So I walk in the gym, and I like he had the sprinter outside, so I knew he might have been in there. I walk in and I see his stuff. So all of his stuff it has the King logo on it.
God damn.
So I see his stuff over there. I'm like, oh shit, let me kind of put my stuff like right next to his stuff.
Yeah.
He's in the back talking to Rob and Darvin, and then he comes back. I like went and got like my ankles taped or something. Came back and he was sitting down right next to my stuff. He was like, "Yo, what's up, Cole?" I'm like, "Yo, this is crazy, yo." Like my whole entire life, like, yo, this is a guy that I've idolized. Like me and my boy from Syracuse, like we would like sit down in his dorm room and literally watch LeBron James highlights of like the 2018 playoffs.
Yeah.
And now he knows me by name. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. So it was cool. We were able to talk a little bit. I asked him a couple of questions, like stuff that was relevant. Like the week before, he had coached his son in the AAU tournament back at his alma mater. So I asked him about that, like just simple stuff like that. And then throughout the summer, I was able to interact with him a lot because I knew what time he would get to the gym at. And I was trying to beat him to the gym every single day. So his schedule every single day gets to the gym right at 6:45, gets in the weight room at 7 to 8:15, he's doing like weight room stuff, activation. From 8:15 to like 9:15, he's working out. After that, he gets a massage. He gets all of his stuff done. He gets in the cold tub, whatever he needs, right? And then he probably has 30 things to do in the afternoon with all the stuff that you see him on, the Ruffles commercials. He's in every commercial, bro.
Yeah,
iPhone
everything.
commercials,
Everything.
So just to see like that kind of work ethic, that determination, that drive, like it's like, bro, like this dude's already won 4 championships. He's won 4 MVPs. He at that time he wasn't the all-time leading scorer, but he's an all-time NBA's all-time leading scorer, and he still has that like identity like of the work. Like that's what like has got him there. He's obviously the smartest basketball player of all time. Like, and it was just amazing to kind of see like his routine. And I bet like as a younger player, he probably did a lot more. But at this point, it's like, yo, he's like, all right, I know exactly what I need to do in the off season.
Yeah.
So it was amazing to kind of like be there and then interact with him, AD, and then Russ came in a little bit later and interact with those guys, like 3 top 75 players of all time, just at my disposal to ask questions, and they were great about that stuff.
Wow. So even going into that camaraderie within the locker room of the Lakers, like, you not necessarily obviously being of their necessarily stature yet, but being new, still being around.
Yeah.
What was like the relationship with them? Like who's like amongst like the coolest? Like who maybe you might be the closest to that's like a big name that you might not even expected yourself to be like cool. Like, oh damn, because sometimes they do say don't meet your idols, like these theories that people have and shit. But you actually got to make that happen, and people that you would watch on TV, and now you're teammates with them. So talk about like the camaraderie with that.
I think one thing in the NBA that like think about is like in college everyone's so close, like everyone's living together, everyone's like going to each other's rooms, hanging out and everything like that.
Same classes.
Yeah, in the NBA like dudes got wives, kids, like a lot of the guys like they come in, they do their work, they do their extra work, they do the recovery, they do the treatment, they eat, they get a massage, and they go home and have to take care of their wives and kids, right? Like that's like they call it the best 4-hour job in the world. You know what I mean? Like you work for 4 hours a day, basically.
Yeah.
Like, so it's cool, but at the same time, like I was out there by myself. Like I didn't have like a girlfriend or a person out there with me. So you know what I mean? Like there is like that. Like you try and find that close knit community with the rookies who don't have that like everything going on. Or the younger guys. We had a bunch of younger guys on the team this year. So like Austin Reeves, I was super close with. Troy Brown Jr., I was super close with. Scottie Pippen Jr. was the other two-way. We got really, really close throughout the whole entire year. Max Christie, I got really close with. So just like a bunch of those guys, I would say I was closer with them. And then Wenyen Gabriel, he's from New Hampshire. I was really close with him as well. But when it comes to like those top guys, it's like you kind of got to pick your spots with those guys. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yo, they got so many things going on, from endorsement deals to commercials to, and then when the season comes, they lock in. You know what I mean? They're focused on the craft. I would say that the most time you spend with your teammates is on the road.
Really? Road games?
Road games. You
And
know
trips.
what I mean?
Wow.
Road trips, because like that's the time where it's like, yo, that's like there's nothing. I mean, like you'll go out as a team together. You'll go out to team dinners. Like LeBron's great at like getting guys together in those atmospheres to build like team camaraderie, team building stuff. So yeah, man, it's I wouldn't say I was like particularly close to anyone. Like me and AD got pretty close because I was really close to AD security guard. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like stuff like that. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, see, like me and AD security guard were like this because in the playoffs we sat behind the bench together.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
I saw that.
So we got really close. Me and Russ security guard were close. So Russ and AD are looking out for me because those guys are speaking highly about me.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, they love playing cards. Like
Really?
They love playing the card game Boo-Ray. So like they have like their big Boo-Ray table, and then like the rookies, like we have our little Boo-Ray table. We're not doing as much money as them, but you feel me? But we're playing. So like stuff like that, like it was cool to be able to like just like have like a relationship with them, but at the same time, it's like you know when to like pick your spots and like ask questions. When the other time it's like, yo, like they need to lock in, let them be.
It's reality check. You're freaking like finding yourself, like positioning yourself, and it's like, it's building you up for, things in the future. Because right now you might be, behind the bench, sitting next to the security guards, but, and within the next 5 years, you could be easily, even if it's not with the Lakers, on another team, you could be an NBA champion, because you are in a position where you are, one in however many, million, billion of people that might try to, I want to go to the league one day.
Hey,
You're in it.
You know what's a crazy stat? I don't know if you guys know this, but there's only been like a little over 4,000 people who've ever touched an NBA court
That's crazy.
in the history.
And it feels like such a low number. 4,000? And then you're one of them.
One of them. David's one of them too.
Yeah. Shout out to David as well. Yeah, that's crazy.
Think about that, bro. In the history of basketball.
That's insane.
Because football, you know what I mean? Every single year there's 53 guys on a team.
Yeah.
Like there's so many guys, like literally like a little over 4,000, bro.
And even with football and stuff, I feel like baseball has players that stay for a long time. I feel like, no. But football, not necessarily. There'll be random
The
unicorns.
career expectancy is a lot
Yeah,
shorter.
yeah. It's a short span for the career. You have unicorns like a Brady, pull a Brady. But, in NBA, you have guys like LeBron who just does the 20-year, and it's like he's playing,
Think about all the guys
incredible.
like Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Draymond Green. Like,
Yeah.
you can name 30, 40 guys.
Melo, he just announced
Melo
it.
just had 20 years. So
Yeah.
like there's got like with the science, with the rest, with all these things. Like people will say like, oh, the NBA is soft now. Larry Bird is still walking with a limp because he didn't take care of himself. Like teams would never let him do that now. Like Kevin McHale, he only played 12, 13 years, but like he can barely walk now, right? Like people are giving Kawhi Leonard a bunch of stuff for not playing games, but he was the first guy to really like be like, yo, like I'm not playing on an injury that's gonna make me like limp in the future. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like the career expectancy is gonna be longer because these guys were taking care of our bodies in a different way. The science has improved in all these different ways. Like these guys are gonna look out for how much money they can make in the future. Like Kawhi, like it's crazy. He signed a 4-year deal a couple years ago. He played like a little over 120 games in 4 years. But he just got extended for another 120 million.
Yeah.
You feel me? So it's like who's really like
It's a
figuring it
business
out?
strategy.
Yeah.
No, it is. No, you're right. Especially your perspective where you're in it. Obviously for like a fan.
But the fan stinks.
It's like,
I feel for that.
what the fuck, blah, 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 blah. Like right now, there's like this whole huge debate, especially with the Celtics fandom with Jaylen Brown and the max contract with the Celtics, and like they have to,
They have to
sign
give
him.
that to him.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of people are like, oh, is it overpaid? Is it not overpaid, etc.
Doesn't matter. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, at the end of the day, you don't sign Jaylen Brown, you trade him. You've gotten to 5 Eastern Conference Finals in the last 7 years. Constantly, you're in the mix, like as a contender. Like, don't mess that up because you think $300 million is too much. Like, obviously, like paying 2 players $600 million over the next 5 years is a lot, but like mess around and don't pay him that, and the next thing doesn't work out, and now you're back to mediocrity. Like, that's even scarier.
No, that's true because I feel like I agree because I agree with that specifically because of the fact that I see a lot, especially now this year. It feels like it's more than ever, but obviously it always happens. But like even like the firing or like the transitioning of coaches, etc. Because people, they're losing. But I'm like, damn, like everyone can't win. Like what is this? What's going on? Like everyone can't win, and people kind of feel like, the year is a bust. And I get that mentality though. Like the year's a bust if we don't win the championship, right? But not everyone can win. Like, for example, the Lakers, you guys, You made it on a play-in, and then you went from a play-in to potentially, damn near making it all the way. So I think that has to be, but I get it though, where some people be like, only people are only gonna remember the champion. Like whenever that happens in the next coming weeks, people are only gonna remember that year, the champion of that year, but they might forget unless they're diehard fans or players like yourself involved. They're gonna remember like everything that led up to that, like the actual don't you remember though the Lakers though they were just a play-in, they weren't even supposed to be in the playoffs.
What do you think that's from though?
I think it's social media.
So, and what the media?
The media, okay, yeah.
The media has created this thing around rings culture. So,
yes.
So the common fan, all he thinks about is, did we win a ring or what?
Yeah.
Like back in the day, like they were talking about great players. Obviously the rings were a thing, but like in sports, you want to have pressure because your team is in the hunt to make it, right?
Yeah.
Like I think we've lost appreciation for the process and the things that go into winning. Like. And the media, all we talk about is rings, LeBron 4, MJ 6, LeBron 10 finals, 4 for 10, MJ 6 for 6. That we don't even talk about like really good coaches who do the right things, like have really good cultures and like Bill Belichick didn't win 14 years, or more than that now, but like with Brady, he didn't win 14 years. But we were in the mix every single year.
Every single year.
What if Bill Belichick didn't win until 2007? He might have been fired before he could have even made it to winning 6 Super Bowls. So it's tough, man. Like my college coach, Coach Ray. He was my college coach. He recently retired. His first 3 years, they made the NIT at Villanova. Now, like that coach gets fired. Yeah. Like he ended up being a Hall of Fame coach, 2 national championships, made it to 4 Final Fours. Like it's crazy.
No, it's crazy. I think it's a media thing, social media thing, fandom. But then it sucks when it transitions into like maybe ownership or like the teams like hearing so much about it that it can lead to like their decisions being made as well. 100%. It's like that's like fuck, like that's not very deserving of that. Like what the hell is going on here? But man, let's even talk about that real quick. A quick debate where like people always say the GOAT talk between a LeBron James and a Michael Jordan. In my opinion, I think that LeBron James is the best basketball player of all time. But you have been around him. You play on the same team as him. What is your perspective being around his greatness? We already kind of talked about, his actual preparation, workout, work ethic. But you just being a fan of him and then seeing him literally, whenever you, wanted to, at your disposal right there to even interact with him. What is your take on this huge debate that everyone always asks?
Well, first of all, I go durability, right? Like durability from the mental and physical aspect. Like this dude's played 20 years. His first 15 years, like he never got hurt. So this dude was playing 82 games, 78 games, 74 games every single year. And he didn't take a break in the middle to play baseball. You know what I mean? Like not throwing any shades at Michael Jordan, but
play baseball terribly. I threw the shot.
And also
It wasn't that bad.
and also from a role model standpoint, like LeBron has never gotten into anything from any sort of trouble, right?
None at all.
Like so, if you want to talk about on the court, he has all the records when it comes to scoring. He has more points than Michael Jordan, more assists. Yeah, has made it to more finals. Like has more rebounds, has all those things. Michael Jordan has one more MVP, but LeBron probably should have won MVP for 7 straight years, but they got tired of giving him the MVP.
No bullshit. That's how I feel. I swear to God.
But I think just in terms of being able to dominate the game in every single aspect, he's a naturally a pass first guy, but he's the NBA's all-time leading scorer.
It's crazy.
He's able to dominate. He was the best defender in the league at one point. He was obviously the best player for the last 20, probably the last 2 years he hasn't been, but in his first 2 years. So he was the best player in the league for 16 years.
16 years at least.
At least. Yeah. So, this year was the first year he didn't get an MVP vote.
Yeah, I saw that. It was crazy.
Think about that.
Yeah.
That's insane. So I think just in terms of durability, in terms of being able to take bad teams to the NBA Finals, this dude took a 2007 Cavs team where second best player was Mo Williams. He took a 2018 Cavs team to the finals when the second best player was an injured Kevin Love.
Yeah.
This dude, I've never seen a person. I mean,
Talk that shit, Cole. He's the GOAT. The GOAT.
the goat.
The GOAT. Listen, he's the GOAT, man. He's the GOAT.
Man. Nah, I think it just in terms of leadership, in terms of all these different things, like he has all that mastered down to his science. So.
No. Listen. I agree with everything you're saying. I'll say it 1,000 times. Especially the off the court stuff. I think that's where that comes hand in hand. And and we talked about it here, but briefly 2 weeks ago when Scottie Pippen was saying all that stuff as well. But like Michael Jordan was like a horrible, player, etc.
I think what he was talking about is the media's perception of him. He wasn't talking about him as an actual basketball. Like everyone knows he was an unbelievable talent.
Yeah.
The media's perception of him before he won was that he's a
Asshole.
He's a showsman. He's an asshole. He's this and that. As soon as he wins the championships, he's the greatest player of all time.
Yeah.
And did he win a championship without Scottie?
No.
No. You know what I mean? Like, I think the thing that makes LeBron so impressive is he's won a championship with 3 different franchises.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he took down the Spurs when they were at their highest. He also lost to them.
Yeah.
He took down an OKC team with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. Like he's never been favored in the finals till his last finals appearance against the Heat. Like this dude, he took down a 73-9 Golden State Warriors team. Think about that. It's just down 3-1.
Man, listen, I agree with everything you're saying.
It's just but then
But it might be a generational thing as well.
no, but he does that, and then KD goes to Golden State, and it's like, oh, come on, dog.
Yeah.
I'll be the Skip Bayless here.
Okay, Skip Bayless.
LeBron. This league is soft now.
Compared to back then?
What do you say to people who say that? Because that's what they say about Michael. They say Michael's because they played in two different
eras.
So they said that people are more aggressive.
Who's stopping a 6'9", 260-pound guy with that athleticism going through the lane?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, MJ had to develop his body to play against the Pistons. LeBron's body's already there. And the reason why, LeBron, he doesn't really flop, but the reason why he does that is because the NBA, rewards guys who flop and manipulate the rules and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, why wouldn't you try and use that to your competitive advantage to try and win
show.
the game?
Yeah, people always say that shit just for bullshit at clickbait. I don't know what the fuck, but I always see it where it's if you got fouled and the ref is not catching it, then you develop this technique and this actual reminder, but obviously you add a negative connotation to it where it's flopping is an excuse, you're just flopping, blah blah. But I think aren't they implementing a new rule?
Well, also the rules have changed too.
Right?
Yeah.
For flopping specifically, I think there's a new rule.
Yeah. That's been in college for a little bit, the technical foul shot for flopping. But also the rules have changed. When Michael Jordan played, you could literally control a guy by his hip. You can't do that anymore. The NBA has changed into a scoring league.
Yeah,
100%.
You're not allowed to do all the things that it was literally a bloodbath before. Guys are coming in the lane and literally getting thrown out of the air into the stands.
No, they used to take they used to even take different drugs and stuff to heal up. What was a drug that back then? I forgot there was one that they would take that was not testosterone. It was something that people would take literally injections and shit. It's not even
They would
legal.
take Vicodin before a game to get through it, bro. Just stuff like that.
Crazy shit.
As a fan, right? What do you want to watch? Do you want to watch guys literally killing each other in the lane, or you want to watch a high scoring Steph Curry shooting threes?
Yeah.
I don't know. LeBron.
And what's your opinion on not to cut you off, but what's your opinion since you are a shooter? What's your opinion on Steph Curry? Is he the best shooter of all time?
All time, yeah.
Yeah. And then what's your experience even seeing him up close and everything? What is your take on that? Because you are a shooter yourself.
Yeah, no, Steph is an there'll never be another shooter like Steph. He can do anything. He's one of the tightest handles of all time. He can shoot from anywhere on the court. The difficulty of shots that he has to take because of the way teams guard him. You should have seen our scouting report towards Steph. We had 2 different guys on him. We had 6'9" with length on him who could move his feet and everything like that. We were denying him the whole entire way up the court. And then we had a 6'2", 6'3", absolute pest of a defender on him. Literally rolling over ball screens, getting up in his crap, contesting them hard.
Yeah.
Because Steph moves crazy. He's just moving all around the court, and that's their offense is set up for him just to be able to roam free. Him and Clay.
Yeah.
And Draymond's just finding him. So Steph's just unbelievable. His conditioning, the way he can shoot the ball, his finishing ability at the basket over bigger players. I think AD kind of affected him a little bit in our series, but he changed the game too.
Yeah, no, forever.
He changed the game. Like you look at, like that's another way you can tell about greatness is like if you're able to change the rules and the style of play based on how you play. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell, LeBron. Like KD was the mutant. You know what I mean? 7-foot guy who can dribble and pass, shoot. Like Steph, right? Like that's another way to measure greatness as well.
Even Dirk Nowitzki, I feel like a lot of times doesn't get the credit for like his shot ability and the fadeaway and everything. You know, no, it's very true. The impact that you leave, because a lot of times it's not necessarily like, oh, the rings, etc. But it's like, the impact that person left.
All right, so I got a question for you, man.
Yeah.
So, with the NBA in this little transition period, LeBron's gonna be out of the league in probably a year or two.
Yeah.
Steph's gonna be out of the league in probably 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Right. All the best players. Then you look at it: Jokic, Doncic, Luka, even Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Like all these guys are international guys.
Yeah.
Ja Morant has kind of fizzled his way out of being because he was the next guy. He was supposed to be the 2K cover.
The face of the league.
He's supposed to be the face of the league.
Face of the league.
What are we doing? What are we doing here? Who's the next guy? And it has to be an American. You got to promote it. Is it Tatum? Is it like
that's a great question.
Who's that guy? Because all of our stars that we've been accustomed to our whole entire lives.
Yeah.
The LeBrons, the Steph Currys,
they're on their way out.
The James Hardens, the KDs,
on their way out.
They're all on their way out.
Very true.
Who's next?
That's a great question because you see, even right now, with everything that's happening with the Warriors, no one's necessarily left other than obviously the what's the man that left on the
Bob Myers.
Bob Myers, right? The man that basically put the team together, etc. The GM, right? The GM. Yep. So the GM leaving. There's already rumors now. People are talking the dynasty's ending, right? So even if it doesn't happen this time around, which I think there's possibly that most likely probably won't. But if it happens, it happens. People start leaving. At least maybe Draymond goes somewhere. You never know. But that's starting to fade away, right? That's gonna happen. Then they're still technically younger, but they obviously have been in it forever, like a Curry, A LeBron, I think is definitely, he's gonna try to play. I think with his son at least 1 year. There's no point of him trying to play with his son for 2 years. I think more than likely his son is in college right now. Obviously, next year, I think after that, he'll probably do 1 year in college. I don't see him doing like a full 4 years at all. Like impossible. Bronny's definitely going to just do a 1 year stop. And then I think the following year, LeBron is going to play with his son. But then there's also, him saying, he doesn't know where he's going to land. He's like, or not. He doesn't. Not that he doesn't know where he's gonna land, but he doesn't know. He's not thinking about. He has stuff to think about. Like he doesn't know what's gonna happen, right? But I think that in my opinion, and you might have to take it as well on it. I think that was just him frustrated in the moment of the loss.
Yeah. Long season. He's playing with a torn tendon in his foot.
Exactly. Everything that he's been through is like, fuck, I didn't win the championship. But I think when the dust settles right now in the summer,
he's coming back.
He's gonna come back. Yeah. I think for sure.
I don't think we need to discuss that.
Yeah. It doesn't need to be discussed, right? But then, we're both young. I think by the time when we're 30, 5 years from now, I think the ball, and unfortunately, he loves to have a gun in his hand, but the ball is in Ja
Morant's hands.
Ja Morant's hand. I think Ja Morant is the face of the league, and that's why I'm personally very hard on him. I've had multiple clips go viral talking about him. They go viral all the time, every time I talk about him. Because I speak with a passion, because I do think that the man is the one to go. I always compared him, especially to, when it comes to the brandability factor, the markability factor, the likeness, culture, just appreciating him to like an AI. Like people were like, oh, it's a young Allen Iverson. And like I felt that, right? But then now, everything that's happening now, I feel like you can damn near throw that shit out the window. I'm not gonna lie. I have to be as blunt as possible because I think that was gonna happen. There's rumors now. There's like a breaking news that came out today. Like, oh, supposedly it was like a toy gun. The most recent one was a toy gun. There's proof that it's a fake gun. Look at you smiling over there. There's proof that it was a fake gun, right? And that the commissioners saying, 30 years. Like they're predicting it's gonna be like not 30 years. Oh, that would be crazy. 30 years will be crazy. 30 years will be insane. 30 days, 30 games, 30 actual playing game days of suspension, which is damn near half the season. So that's going to affect the team no matter what, right? Especially if they play horrible without him. But they do play good without him as well, depending, the days they have played really good, the Grizzlies. But fast forward a year from now, in my opinion, if you remove, you have to eliminate the next year, I think, for Ja Morant. I think if I'm him, damn near, like, even mentally, like, check out and, like, actually come to your senses. And then I still feel like he can be the face of the league. But then, like you said, is going international because now we have Victor Wembanyama. I don't even know how to pronounce the man's name.
The NBA, like, we don't want to promote someone who's not from
America, right? Because traditionally, especially when it came to like Olympic Games, like Team USA and everything, that sense is kind of fading away. It's really fading away if you really think about it. We do have great players though that are still here, even on your team. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I love Austin Reeves. I love him. I'm a fan of his. But then even on your same team, you have an international aspect as well with like a Hachimura.
Yeah.
Hachimura out of nowhere and like so amazing and like a Japanese and like what the Hachimura in his name, and I'm like, this is amazing. I love watching Hachimura. Like we watching the game, I'd be like Hachimura. Every time we score, I'd be like Hachimura. Like I just love saying his name, and I'm like, this is crazy. So the international shit might be the way to go. But
I don't think the NBA wants to do that, bro.
I was gonna say because brands try to do that, like UFC, etc. Like they're saying like they want to be more international, like blah blah blah. And I think I saw the commissioner say that a couple years ago in an interview. Like they got the All-Star game, like yeah, like we want to have more marketability international, but to what extent? Because if you do that,
the United States is your main product. Exactly,
because you're American players. That's what everyone wants to come here, right? And then when people leave here, they kind of make fun of them, like a Dwight Howard's, like in Taiwan and wherever they like. And now with the Dylan Brooks, they were like, well, go to China, bye. You're going to China. Like all these jokes, like people are like, they're going over there. But now the irony is like, oh, you want to joke about that, but all those players are coming over here. Now you guys are not having any essence here as American players. But time will tell. I think Ja Morant, if Kyrie wasn't Kyrie, like the way he is.
But he's older though.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. He would have been in that position now.
You need to transition, because the thing is like, it transitioned to LeBron from MJ. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, and then Kobe was in there a little bit, but like LeBron, like one thing I will say about LeBron is like, this dude is an icon, bro.
Yeah.
No, like, you walk somewhere with him, like everyone stands up and takes their phone out. It's like, it's
like a president.
No, it's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, he walks in the summer league when we're there, the whole entire stand up. It's like, yo, I'm with Russ and AD. Like they walk in, people are like, yeah, like that's awesome. But like, we're at a club one time. Bron walks in with his security guards and stuff like that. Everyone stands up. Like everyone stands up after their sex. Like yo, like he's here.
Yeah.
Like there's few people that could like ever reach that level of status and fame and like he's an icon, bro. Like
yeah.
Like people like when they see him, they cry.
I'm almost crying right now talking about it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm tearing up a little bit, but I'm holding it in for the camera. Nah, but I swear to God, that's a great point because. But I am not. Listen, I will go back to Ja Morant. I think Ja Morant. All eyes are on him right now. The skill level is still there.
He's on strike 2 though, man.
But I think
tough.
that with the attention, if he somehow gets he needs a team. He needs a crisis manager. He needs a PR. He needs like a media team. He can rebrand himself to a position where it's like you become the person that, was all the way at the bottom, but now, prove yourself by still playing good, but then market yourself where it's like...
Tristan Thompson said he's got to come out and said he found Jesus.
Yeah. I saw Tristan Thompson says that. Yeah, it's true. It would have to be something like that. Yeah. Because he can't be anywhere near... He can't, in my opinion, he can't even be posting like before the gun stuff. He was posting
get off Instagram.
He would go on Instagram Live and he'll like be on the team plane drinking Casamigos, and it's like to each their own, but not on camera. Like, come on, bro. Like, what, you could turn up with the team, God bless, but like you do that on camera is like the marketability is like you're definitely not a LeBron. You're definitely not a Jordan because even them in their day, obviously Jordan didn't have social media, etc.
Yeah,
But
kept it
Jordan
private.
had
They
some
kept
shit
it
with him,
private.
though.
yeah, that's what I'm about to say,
Jordan
right
had the
though.
gambling. Yeah.
So without social media, but so maybe Jordan would have been a Ja Morant on Instagram Live.
No,
etc.
no,
We don't
I
know.
don't think the gun stuff, but like
Not the gun stuff,
You
at
look
least.
at Jordan, bro. Like when the Last Dance came out, you know what I mean. Like they talk about the gambling. You talk about drinking 12 beers on game days, still going out there and killing dudes. Like that dude does some shit with him. He was a big like bro. Like, you look at him now, like his eyes are like messed up.
Like yellow.
Yeah.
Like he has, what's that thing? The yellow eye thing? I think he probably
From
has
his
that.
liver, probably from
From the liver, bad liver.
Yeah.
That's very true. People don't talk about that.
But this info was given after the fact, after his career was over.
No, I think people knew that.
People,
No, people
I mean, I
knew.
didn't know.
Talk about
We're young.
Talk about
yeah.
David Stern. David Stern was talking about, it didn't reach crisis level, so I didn't suspend him.
It's so
know.
different these days with Instagram Live because you have thousands of followers just watching you, bro, like instantly. So then, you know what I'm saying? So that comes out so fast. It's faster than the newspaper back in the day and all that stuff. Too,
Yeah.
so.
People, listen, there always has been shit in the league. Don't get me wrong. You have a Ron Artest, his situations, everyone's always been in something. Gilbert Arenas, like people have been in stuff
Yeah.
prior to social media.
But never guns.
But now with
I
social
remember- I
media,
remember-
Gilbert Arenas brought guns into
no,
the
Gilbert Arenas had guns and shit. It got to that level.
and I think he got suspended 50 games.
Gilbert Arenas, people mention him all the time, and even him himself, he said it was Ja Morant. He was like, someone they were talking about on his podcast, Gilbert Arenas, where he was saying that same discussion, like the next star, the next face of the league, like what is going to happen now with LeBron, et cetera. And he was like, Ja Morant,
Yeah, it's just so highlighted because he's such a big name, I guess. So.
Yeah, but other than that,
it was him, bro.
yeah, no one else really comes to mind.
It's
Like
supposed
off
to be
of
Zion. Zion's been hurt.
Zion
lost
was been
a lot of
hurt.
weight,
He lost a lot of weight, but he's gained some back, and he's been
getting
injured.
a lot of weight back.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of weight back. He's getting a lot of weight back.
Because the thing, it was supposed, bro. They had the Zion came in the NCAA tournament. Watched him everywhere he went, bro. They were televising more New Orleans Pelicans games that first year
Ever in their life,
than ever, and he wasn't even playing. He was hurt.
and they called him the next LeBron, like the next.
I remember, yeah.
The next, and I was like, I was going off. I'm like, people need to be quiet. What are you talking about? The next LeBron James? No one's gonna be the next.
No, he was that electrifying.
But
though
he
in
was
college.
that good.
Yeah.
So I was excited to still see him. Like, even though I had my thoughts, I'm like, let me see him, and look what
He
the
gave
fuck
me more
happened.
Shaq
No,
vibes.
when he's on the court, he's unbelievable.
He's good,
He's
but
just
then
not, he's never on the court.
you need, and you also, I feel like you need like the consistency factor of like. It always goes back to the markability, like your presence. I feel like Zion's a freak of nature, but then like a presence like a LeBron has and like a Jordan has, a Kobe had. Man, it's gonna be tough to fill those shoes. Someone that can potentially, Victor. You say the last
Foreign.
name. I don't know how to
Foreign, though.
but then he's foreign, right? But then he's the only one that could maybe fill the shoes still as far as like the NBA if they want to take that route because they're gonna have no other option.
Yeah.
But then Zion Williamson, everything that happened there, you can't put too much, eggs in a basket. You try to like gas him up too much. It might happen with Victor where like God forbid, but even him, I don't think so.
happens.
I think he's
Victor,
different.
Victor's the truth.
I think he's gonna be like a unicorn. Like
No,
he's gonna be a situation.
No,
I
you
swear to
don't
God.
think
No, listen. I swear to God. You guys haven't seen. We'll play like short clip.
I'm not
that I
familiar
saw.
with his game.
Every NBA team tanking for Victor Wembanyama. The NBA is expecting to
7'4"
see tanking
shoot.
like
Look
we've
the way he
never
shoots
seen
that.
since Victor is the greatest prospect in NBA history. Even better than LeBron James because he's 7'4" and can move
Look at
and
that.
shoot like Steph Curry. And he can block shots like Rudy Gobert, who he's easily taller than, by the way. Rudy is a three-time
Gobert's
Defensive Player of the
7'2".
Year, and he couldn't even guard a 16-year-old Victor Wembanyama just last year.
Bro.
That's crazy.
So, with the Wembanyama, international, but gonna be like up there in everything. He can go down historically, but then the issue goes down with the markability factor when it comes to international. Athletes, for example, the Joker, right?
Yeah.
Jokic, right now, in my opinion, and by the time this podcast airs, could they be? Could anyone be? No, because no, it can't be, right? By next week, by that date, right? No, because the game,
He's tired right now.
Yeah.
it can't be. I don't think it can be.
Because they're
We're-
doing 2 days in between every game.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be. But let's say forecasting it, my prediction, and you can give your prediction as well if you want. My prediction, I think, is going to be the Nuggets winning the championship.
Yeah, me too.
You agree, right?
Nuggets to 6.
Yeah, Nuggets. I said the same thing. Nuggets in 6, and the Joker, right? You have the Joker being like a freak of nature. Like I said it the other day, I'm like, someone needs to clone him, like take his DNA and clone him. Like the guy's incredible. Like, but there's so many people that I know that might have heard of him but don't really know him because he doesn't really speak
about it,
English. There's no marketability there with like
he
his
was
like.
back-to-back MVP and he got picked second to last in the All-Star draft. You know what I mean? It's like as a basketball savant, as a basketball player, like I played against him, bro. Might be the best player in the world. Arguably the best player in the world. I mean, you see what he's doing in the playoffs.
That's true.
Like, he'll dominate a game. Like, not even scoring, rebounding, passing, defending. Like, dude is unbelievable. But in terms of a marketability standpoint, he's not shooting three. He's not like shooting long threes. He's not dunking over people.
Doesn't look athletic.
He doesn't, but he is.
But he is. Like you look at him and people are like, "What is this guy? What is to the naked eye, right?" But
But he was the second to last pick in the All-Star draft. You know what I mean? It's just different.
It's on some Brady shit too. That's what it is. Where it's like you get picked so late, etc., and like the expectations, but then it's like, oh,
Yeah, he's a second-round pick. Jokic is a second-round pick.
that's crazy. I be forgetting that fact a lot of times. I be forgetting that's crazy that he's such a later round pick. But man, I do think that they're gonna win. And yeah, that's a great question that you opened up with the discussion right there because who can it be? I think it's Ja Morant. You know, and what's your take on that? Everything happening with him, like, do you see it forthcoming like okay, like he is gonna come back, etc. Like
From a basketball standpoint, it's not going to affect him. He's even after that we played him in the first round, and he was unbelievable.
Still good, yeah, still great.
Like he had a second half against us in game 3. It was like this guy, like no one could touch him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He's unbelievable. I think in terms of a marketability standpoint, in terms of a crisis management standpoint, I think that's going to be the factor if he's able to turn around and become like the person that we know him to be. Like he just got his own signature shoe. Like they just had to cancel 200 million shoes for Kyrie, and like they don't want to do that again for Ja. So like LeBron said the other day, he's like, yo, like Nike will stand by their guys unless you like give them an option not to. So we'll see. I think Ja is like actually like a good dude at heart. I think Memphis may not be the right city for him, right?
Yeah.
Because like the Memphis fans will probably like what he's doing.
no bullshit. Because out there is like especially the gun laws, everything is different. It's a different essence out there, very different. So you're very right with that. And right now, though, when it comes to like faces of leagues, like the next superstars, he was my favorite. He still is like my favorite like younger player, but this whole shit made it more reason for me to like be even madder because like I had him at such a high standards, and I'm like, wait a minute, what are you doing, bro? Like, okay, I get it, bro. I came from rough beginnings. I said it here. Like I allegedly might know some people that, let me not say it. Not say it like I said last time. But like shout out to them. And even
man, if he's not gonna be the face,
I wouldn't even put myself in those situations.
If he's not gonna be the face of NBA, whatever, he's gonna be the face of Call of Duty, some shit. You know what I'm saying? And that might bring him back.
Call of Duty.
I don't know, cause like you guys said, if he's as good as you guys are saying, why not?
Listen, man, prayers to him. That's a very wild situation. I hope that situation figures itself out. But going back to you being a shooter. What's your main key advice, right? Break it down, the fundamentals and the technicals of shooting a basketball. Breaking it down to the fundamental. What's the best way, and what's your advice to any shooter out there who wants any tips at all when it comes to shooting the basketball, since you are a shooter for the LA Lakers?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to fundamentals, keeping your elbow in, having good arc, all that stuff. I mean, I can bore you with all that stuff. But I think the main thing is having a routine every single day that you go to when you're warming up. I think that's what really changed my trajectory as a shooter. Is like, every single day I come in, I shoot 10 here, 10 there, 10 there, move back a step, 10 here, 10 here, then there. I do my little floaters, I do whatever. Like, I have a routine that I go to every single day, so it's like consistency. Like your body is being primed in that situation that you're about to shoot. I think that's important. Having like that medium ground of like taking good shots, but not having a conscience about it either. You know what I mean? Yeah. Then honestly, just knowing that you're a great shooter, knowing shots you're gonna go through good spells and bad spells. Like the mind is the biggest thing about being a shooter, because you're gonna have 3 games in a row you might not shoot well, In my mind, I'm like, oh shoot, the hot streak's coming.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like that's just the law of averages. Like I know deep down I'm a 40 to 44% 3-point shooter if I shoot enough shots. Like that's just like the math that I've developed over the years of how many shots I've taken. So I mean, it definitely takes a lot of work though. It takes a lot of work to really perfect your shot. I'm still trying to perfect it every single day. Like, I want to shoot 50% from three. I'm not satisfied shooting 40, right? So I think overall just the work, the time, the routine, and really putting the reps in.
Yeah. What's your go-to like song or like couple songs, or maybe even artists when it comes to, you know, workouts and just being in the locker room prepping to actually play a game?
Yeah, I'm not a big like music guy. Like I like to breathe and stay centered before a game. I got my routine of every single game day, what I do.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I'm not like a huge like music. I don't have music playing in the locker room. Like I'm not gonna like I'm not gonna like put my own headphones on or anything like that. So I'll listen to that. But man, I like to like really like try and be in the moment, stay present, and like find just pray.
Inner peace.
Like actual pray. I was about to say that you actually pray and everything.
Yeah, for sure. Before I go in the game, you know what I mean? Cross it up. Thank God for giving me the opportunity.
Yeah. Wow. No, I love that. I'm about to fucking pray right now too. I swear. Oh my God. God forgive me. That was blasphemous. I gotta calm down. That was crazy of me.
Yeah.
Lord forgive me.
You gotta have a track though, bro. You have one.
You gotta have one track. You're saying?
Better not be NBA YoungBoy, bro.
No,
No.
I'm not an NBA YoungBoy guy.
Or maybe all time. Let's say, do you
Pull up
have
us a Ja
what type of
Morant
music
shit.
do you listen to
I'm
all
an
time?
R&B guy.
R&B
Chris
guy?
Brown, Drake.
Really? So who's your favorite artist of all time?
Drake.
Drake.
Yeah, for
really?
sure.
Drake.
I saw him in LA last year too.
Really?
Yeah, that was cool.
And how? What was that? How close was that? He was just at the game, or?
No, I didn't see him at a game, but I saw him out. I saw him out one night. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, because you are now. So you moved fully out there to LA,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So now you are in the in the thick of like Hollywood, the stardom. You know.
Yeah, LA's different because like everyone out there is trying to make it, right? So like if that's being an actor, or actress, if that's trying to be on radio, if that's trying to be like a movie director, if
Something.
It's like everyone's like trying to make it, bro. So like everyone now influencers are a big thing. So like there's influencers just out there to like make TikTok videos and be in LA and meet with agents and try and get like different deals and everything like that. So like every single place that you go, like you meet people and they all have 100,000 Instagram followers. You know what I mean? They all have like they're trying to like be something, be somewhere in LA, and it's like LA's cool like that. You know what I mean? Like you feel like part of it is a little like weird. It doesn't feel like as real. You know what I mean? Because everyone's trying to make it. Like people will like, God forgive me for saying this, like sell their soul to be famous out there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time though, like it's good that like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I have a really good like foundation and base to me that doesn't really get to me.
Yeah. No, listen, I said that when we were out there. I was like, smells like some evil. It smells like the devil out here. Like this smells crazy.
Yeah,
like this, like the energy.
I don't
You know what I'm
like
saying? We didn't love it. And I think maybe because we're from Rhode Island, you know,
it's different,
small
bro. Yeah,
state.
100%.
You feel like the.
Like, bro, like you're walking down the street and like, yo, they're like, what are you wearing?
Yeah.
Like, you don't got that $50,000 chain on. You don't got the bust down rollie. You know
It's
what
like,
I mean?
bro, I'm humble.
Yeah.
This is a Target shirt. It's a Target
broke.
shirt.
Fuck the humble.
Yeah,
I'm
this is a
broke.
Target shirt. That's all I can afford. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
Yeah, it's like bro, like I never got into fashion being out here. As soon as I go out there, 30 stylists hit me up. As soon as I signed with the Lakers, you know what I mean? Like, I started even putting on some stuff myself.
I saw like one of the most recent outfits. I was like, "Yo, Cole got that drip on. Like you had a fly jacket and everything. That's
I
fire."
post on league fits and
Yeah, I
everything.
saw that. It was hard, but listen,
'Cause that's what Dave does. Dave does that.
Dave Duke goes crazy with that. Like that man is, he's gonna be one of those
Fashion icon.
fashion icons in the league, especially as his career blossoms more and more. But talk about that. Do you have like an actual? I see your Nike down. Do you have like a Nike situation, or how does that work when it comes to that?
I'm a Nike guy. I'm a Nike guy for sure. But I have a stylist. His name's Jay Vassallo. Shout out Jay. We actually went to high school together.
Nice.
Yeah, just kept that relationship. I mean, there's always people trying to hit you up, trying to style you and stuff like that. I mean, I was never really into all those things. Definitely got more into it this year, but
Yeah.
Yeah, just trying to stay.
But even in the league, do you have to wear like a specific sneaker? You have no deal with no brand right now, no?
Yeah, no, I got offered a couple of deals. I turned them down because I like the Nike stuff. I would love to get a Nike deal, but I grew up a Nike kid. Like I played on like the Nike EYBL, went out to all the Nike camps.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, it's like the amount of money that I was gonna get with those deals, it wasn't enough to like feel uncomfortable in basketball shoes. You know what I mean?
So you're okay. I get it. So you're staying, waiting around, staying loyal until potentially the Nike situation might happen.
Or a company offers me a lot of money that I can't refuse.
Oh no. Yeah. Listen. Well, you
Everyone
can name
has a price, right?
Everyone has a price.
Everyone has a price.
Listen, Saucony, Pony, any one of those brands. What was the Patrick Ewing shoes? What was the Patrick Ewing shoes? The ugly big shoes. You know, the originals were dope. I think they were called Ewings. Ewing Athletics. God bless Patrick Ewing. If they offer me some money, I'll wear them shits every day. I'm not gonna lie to you. So no, I definitely get it.
Breaks, bro.
But
This guy said pony, bro.
Pony. You don't remember ponies? The pony shoes?
You're bugging.
Listen, some classic OGs. But now, fast forwarding to end. Even speaking of money, what's your take now? Because you were in an era where there wasn't any NIL deals at all, right?
Yeah.
So now you see college players getting these NIL deals, getting money. You know, a lot of money. You know, God bless them. It's amazing to see. It's like, wow, these guys. You know, a lot of them are millionaires. Like in college, like they're already going to college. More than likely, obviously, every time is a full ride, etc.
Yep.
Already going to college for free. Now you're getting paid by brands, etc. What is that take? What's your take, and what's that feeling like seeing that? Because you missed it by how many years did you miss it?
Probably like 1 year.
One year, right? So what is that? What's your take on that? Because you literally missed it by 1 year, and now looking at how everything and all the players and everything that's happening.
Bro, I've never been a hater, bro. You know what I mean? Like I want all these guys to get paid and get taken care of. It's amazing. Like there's guys who are unbelievable college players who aren't going to make the NBA. It's just like with the stats and facts and everything like that. Like like for example, like Armando Bacot is one of the best players in college basketball, but the way the NBA is played, like there's not really like a place for him. But he can make millions of dollars in North Carolina, like staying there for 5 years. You know what I mean? So it gives those guys an opportunity to make money for their families and feed their families, and I love that stuff. Like even a guy like Tyler Cole from Rhode Island, he wins Big East Player of the Year, and he's able to like basically sign a contract with Marquette to keep him there next year. And like he's like, yo, like I'm not stressed about going to the NBA because I'm making a lot of money at Marquette. You know what I mean? Not to put his business out there, but like, it's unbelievable that they're able to make money. Like think about it. These dudes are basically signing contracts now because with the NIL collectives, for example, like Providence College has one, right? Let's say someone donates $1 million to the I think it's called like Friar Family NIL or something like that. Yeah. Now, the coaches aren't allowed to talk about it in recruiting, but the head of the NIL fund could call a recruit and be like, hey, we're going to offer you $500,000. It'll be a contractual thing. We want you to come here. We want you to come to Providence. The recruit can say yes, and that's how it goes. You get payments. It's like a real job, bro.
Wild. That's wild. I'm gonna have to go back to college.
Yeah, probably have some eligibility left.
Listen, you never know. Listen, I don't know where the cap's at, but we could probably make it work. But no, that's amazing to see like the difference in everything. And I like that take as well. That's why I love talking to people that are actually, you know, from the bird's eye view. Because one it was like I'm a observer, I'm a fan of this shit, etc. And I'm like, damn, all this money, and then people online could easily be like, why are they getting paid? Like, what the fuck?
Why hate, though?
But then your perspective is perfect to break down because, like, yo, they can have great time in college, even stay longer and get paid and not necessarily worry about going to the league because a lot of people worry about going to the league. Yes, they want to make it, but then some people, it's like a financial thing.
They don't get their degrees.
They don't get
They're not able to make the amount of money they thought they were going to make. They get false hopes from an agent. An agent tells them they're going to be a second-round lock or a first-round lock. They fall out of the draft.
My God.
Sign a two-way, get cut off the two-way. Now they have nothing. You know what I mean? Like at least in college now, it's like, yo, like you're able to make like, I mean, I wouldn't say everyone makes $1 million. You know what I mean? Like there's probably only like two to 10 guys in the whole entire NCAA who actually make $1 million. But like guys are making like $200,000 to $500,000. Like a lot of guys are making that. That's a lot of money, bro.
That's a lot of money. And there was always rumors, obviously, of like certain sports, especially in football, etc. People like doing that type of shit, like behind the scenes, like paying people like illegally, whatever, right?
More.
Yeah. Look at that. So now you got the situation where it's like in the public eye, and that becomes his own announcement. Like that, we've never seen that type of announcement where it's like, oh, he got signed, he's part of that team. That's one announcement. But now we have a NIL announcement, like a flyer, and like Bronny had his own flyer, and like the whole thing is like it becomes more of like a, I think like a ritual, and it gets the fandom going for even the college team. So I think it's an upside to that shit completely. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, where do you see yourself, Cole Swider? You know what I'm saying? You are in a situation where, like I said earlier, you could be easily in the next upcoming years involved in a team where, you are a champion, right? But is that where you see yourself, 10 years from now? You see LeBron, 20 years in the league, you're 1 year in, younger than me, literally, by a year. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Man, I want to play for as long as possible. Like, I love the game. I love the process. I love working out. I love doing all those things. So, for me, I don't really, like, think about too much of, like, the future. Like, like I said before, like, I believe in God, and I want to work as hard as I can, and I think He'll take care of the rest. You know what I mean? Like, I think I've done that in the past of worrying, like, I would love to be on a contract. I would love to be starting for my Villanova team. I like jealous and whatever, all these things. Like, I'm good now, bro. Like, I'm willing to work as hard as I can, and God will handle the rest. If that's hopefully a long, luxurious career in the NBA and be able to make a lot of money and take care of my family. But if not, then that wasn't the plan that was meant for me. But I'm gonna do everything I can in my power and work as hard as I can to be able to do those things.
I love that. Amen, brother. Any last questions or any last words, gentlemen, over there? Edwin and Marlon? I know Edwin got something. Sports guy over there. Well, baseball. He's a
baseball guy. Yeah,
he could have been. He was gonna be in the league.
Stop. Don't do that.
No, he stopped. Great picture though.
Which one?
What's your diet like?
What's my diet?
Carnivore.
Definitely not a vegan.
Vegan.
Man.
You're fucking up the audio, bro.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
calm down.
I'm not
shaking the
experienced with this.
table.
I'm not
Oh,
experienced.
God.
Jesus Christ.
No, yeah. What,
Yeah, man. From Villanova, I kind of got into a habit of like eating healthy. Like they gave us all organic food. Feel me? So,
That's fire.
so like I'm knowledgeable about what I put in my body. Like I'm not like a
no
big,
red meat.
I try not to. Like, actually, I asked LeBron about this because LeBron was eating red meat one night. I was like, yo, you eat red meat? Because I was off red meat for like 2 years. He's like, yeah, like I used to go to the doctor. My iron levels were low. So like eating red meat like once every 2 weeks isn't bad for you. So now I'm mixing a steak here and there, just mix it up.
Wow. So LeBron probably tried to avoid red meat, and then his iron levels went low. Wow.
And then he was a pescatarian for a little bit, but his
Just fish. Wow.
yeah. No, but his something was too high. Like there's a lot of
What's in fish? Mercury.
Yeah, his mercury levels were too high.
Wow.
So like he's like
He's eating a lot of freaking fish. Damn.
yeah. So
I mean, he has access to anything. That's the thing. If he wants to go the full fish route, he probably went so hard that like, damn, doctor, hey, Brown, you got too much mercury. Went the full steak route. Oh, you got too much. It's like he could go any route he wants to. It's like that's true. Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Listen. My diet. I had some Wendy's today.
it's bad, bro.
I try not to. I was in a rush.
Health is wealth.
No, 100%. No, trust me. I try my best. But if I was in a position like you guys, like, do you have a certain calorie like you have to like reach intake?
I don't do any of that, bro. I actually used to like. I was at Villanova. I went on like a no carb diet, bro. I used to stress about like, yo, like. So now I'm like.
I've done that. I've done that recently. It's helped me like lose weight. I lost 10 pounds like avoiding carbs. Like it's crazy. Like it really.
Yeah, but you get like in your head about it.
Yeah, no bullshit. Like it was like
a
little bit of rice.
No, but you're like, damn, bro, I'm hungry as shit.
Yeah. Listen, man.
Like that used to get me. Like I'm hungry as shit at night. I'm going to sleep hungry. I'm like, bro, I don't need to do this, bro. I'm stressing myself out for no reason. Like I can have some pasta. You know what I mean? Like.
No, you gotta have a cheat day, a couple at least. You know what I'm saying? No, it's true. You gotta enjoy yourself.
That was your day today, huh?
Yeah, I had that double stack, $5 biggie bag. Woof. No pickles and no mustard. That's why I tell them. You gotta take away some calories. No pickles, no mustard.
Gotcha.
It's a bit healthier.
That's how you get yourself.
Man.
It's not the 1,500 calories it said.
Yeah, it's not,
It's only 1480.
less sodium. There's less sodium in there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, Cole, hopefully I was going to ask you this as well. I would love for you to, I'm not sure if you're a J. Cole fan, but that'll be a dope connection one day, like a J. Cole and Cole.
This dude.
That would be hard.
Get that Tyler Hero, Jack Harlow.
Yeah, man, because Cole is like, obviously he's a great baller, basketball player, but even his involvement, like you saw everything happening with Caleb Martin.
Yeah.
And like Cole's involvement in that and always having some involvement in the league and an opinion on that. But, let's see if that happens. That'll be dope as fuck if you like play with Cole or something, some Cole on Cole type of interaction. But you don't really listen to like much.
I listen to J. Cole every now and then, yeah.
Listen to J. Cole, okay.
Yeah, I like his freestyles. His freestyles are fire, bro.
Yeah. His freestyles are insane. But Cole, any last words to the people of Rhode Island? You have, thousands and thousands of people from Rhode Island, the small state in the country, watching this, listening to this right now. What's your words to them, especially if maybe they want to be a Cole, in the NBA from Rhode Island. They want to be an NBA player. From the bird's eye view, what's your opinion and your advice to them?
Man, keep working, keep dreaming, man. Like, there's been a lot of people throughout my journey process that said it wasn't possible, right? Like, if you were to listen to those people or listen to the things that people say, like, oh, like, you're from Rhode Island, like, you're not gonna make it. Like, there's been 3 people ever from Rhode Island making the NBA. You feel me? Like, just stuff like that. Like, I always think about just like how I grew up, like the obstacles I've been through in terms of basketball stuff. Like, my parents gave me a great life growing up. I felt like God came into my life and took away basketball from me. You know what I mean? It made me really like work for it. So I would just say keep working hard, and like, yo, like I say this all the time. I've never really seen someone really put everything into something and not see success in some light, right? Like that success could be Division III basketball player who goes on to kill it. That could be Division II. You get a scholarship, right? Like, whatever. But like, really putting your all into something, like, it usually has a funny way of working out.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah, I agree. No, I agree. Especially as people who are devoted and passionate about it. It's like it doesn't become like a job. It becomes like even like me. I love talking. Like we can do 12 more hours of this if you're like. I'll be like forgetting that I gotta eat. I might piss myself and just keep going. Like
oh my god!
I
pick up Wendy's on the way back.
Get some more Wendy's. Make a DoorDash with some more Wendy's. Another biggie bag. Get the crispy chicken instead of the double stack. You know what I'm saying?
A little healthier.
What's it called? A biggie bag? You said?
A biggie bag. It used to be the 4 for $4.
Oh, that was.
You know what I'm saying? But I can afford $1 more. I can get the biggie bag.
Good shit, bro.
Yeah, I'm proud of myself. But now, man, listen, it's an awesome conversation. You were pleasant. A pleasure to meet. You have amazing aura, and I am proud to say I'm from Rhode Island because of the gentlemen like yourself, Queedy Pay, David Duke, gentlemen that we've met and have interacted and been able to interview. You guys have a very, very similar essence in the way they carry themselves. Yes or no, Mar?
Yeah,
especially when 100%. It comes to the God, fearing, loving, like embodiment that you guys have, the humble energy. Like, no one can ever say anything to me when it comes to Rhode Island athletes. Like, you guys are tremendous humans. So, appreciate you, man. Thank you.
100%.
Thank you, man.
100%.
No, it's a love. There we have it.
That's 401, baby.
401, man.
Providence, Rhode Island to the world.
They gon' love me for my ambition.
Thanks for watching a clip from our podcast. If you want to watch the full podcast, click right here. If you want to check out one of our reactions, the latest ones, click right here as well. Appreciate you. Subscribe, smash that like button, leave a comment, and show us how much you hate us.